Hi, welcome to another video, Harmony Piece. I would like to talk about projecting your fears, what other people think. Massive topic. I feel, when you're younger, you're at primary school, you're going to college, then university. This all comes down to the people that you socialise, but also what we've been told to us when we were younger, which does go into your nervous system, where I know when I was younger, I'd listen to what was being said. I'm not saying not take on people's advice, but also it's what we perceive and what's the world what we look at when we're younger. And then what happens when we get older, we believe in the thoughts, what's been said. So when it comes to you feel that you want to set a target or something that you want to do and you ask what people's advice is, sometimes people might not see it the way you see it because there could be self-doubt where they might say, "Nah, I don't think you can do it. That's not possible." So then you start to think, well, maybe they're right. I can't do it. Fear kicks in and you completely take a step back and you don't actually achieve your goals because you've actually listened to what someone else has said. But you've got to believe in yourself where you can actually achieve what you want to achieve. And this comes down to the self-doubt, your self-worth, but also not to live in fear. Because I think sometimes we live in fear and we can achieve anything what's out there for anybody. And I believe anyone can be who they want to be. That goes to anybody. But what happens is we start to question ourselves because of our belief system and also what we've been told when we were younger. And then it all just... Another thing as well is the people that you surround yourself with. Listen, I'm a big believer when it comes to love and care for people and having people around me and, having that connection with people, but also who are you as a person? What do you want to achieve for your goals? And this is one biggest thing I feel that we do struggle. We struggle to believe in ourselves where we do self-sabotage the things that we want to do because we listen to the inner critic, but also listen to other people may not know us properly and may not understand our struggles and may not understand what we want to achieve because they may be still looking for themselves and still finding themselves and still finding their purpose, but doesn't stop you for what you want to do in your own life, where you need to be, what you can achieve, because you're a story, you're a book. Every chapter, to me, my eyes, and to anyone else out there, is about changing the way you look at things and also to understand yourself as a person. I'm not saying not to take on people's advice, but when they say things like that, you start to think, well, you got to question yourself. Well, how would I know that I can't achieve that? But you got to think, I can achieve that. And you got to tell yourself that you can achieve anything what's possible, which you've got to tell your inner critic and yourself. Because what happens is one part of the brain will say, "Yeah, you can't do it, Sean. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen." Then the other part of the brain says, "Well, you know what? You can do it, Sean, because anything's possible if you put your mind to it." But because of when you was younger, or for anyone out there may have over-listened to people, may not help or probably in that direction that you would have put thought, or you did see, but it wasn't what it was, because when we're younger, we haven't developed the tools yet, but also it's accepting, knowing that, thinking, but you know what, I can do it. But also there is a part where you might think, maybe it could happen, or maybe I'm going to fail. The main thing is you've tried, and you take one step at a time, knowing that the thing's what you want to do. So you stick with one goal and you focus on that thing, what you want to do. You map out your time, the hours, the people, the resources, what you want to do to get to where you want. That's very important. I know when I was, when I was in the gym, there was a massive weight I wanted to lift, and someone made a comment to me, "Oh, you're lifting it wrong. I don't think you can lift that." I paused and I thought, why would you say that? There's two reasons. One, maybe you can't lift that weight, but I would never say that to you, because I would praise you to think, well, I think you can do that. If I can do it, we can both can do it. But some people might not see it that way, because they're still finding themselves knowing where they need to be, and maybe not being self-aware to understand people or people who are close to them. But the main thing is, you say to yourself that I can do it. Anything's possible. It's about believing and putting that effort in. It doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter how long. It could take you a month, could take you 2 months, but you keep trying. Going back to about that weight, I do remember, I think it was about 180 kilos, probably slightly more, 185. Someone said I couldn't lift it. So what I did was I went quiet. I trained. When the time did come to lifting it, I zoned out, literally, and all I could say to myself, and I visualised this, and I do remember one of the weights that I lifted 150. So I did a vision board, not just whole lifting weight. There was different pictures upon the vision board, and I visualised, and I visualised, and I visualised, and you know what happened at the end? I did dream lifting that weight. So when the time did come to me to lift that weight, I actually did, and I was buzzing. So for that story, it's about believing and not listening to what other people are saying. And it depends what it is. If it's positive, fine. But if it's something negative, you take on board, you listen, and all you can say is thank you for your input, much appreciated. And that's it. You don't need to say anything else. Don't have to get triggered, because I could have easily got triggered. But what I did, I just stayed quiet, and I said thank you for your input. And I carried on, put my head down, and I did lift that weight. So anything's possible when you put your mind to it, because sometimes we give too much people power on what people do say, but that comes down to your boundaries as well. So be open-minded, listen to what people are saying, but doesn't mean everything you take on board. You take on board what you feel what's right. You don't be nasty, don't be horrible, where, things happened. Because at the end of the day, life's about living in peace, but also you don't live in fear to the point that you sit there and don't take chances. You don't take that opportunity, what you want to do, because what someone else has said. But that other person may not know the full story, what you want to do and where you want to be. They may not understand the plan, what you've put together. And you don't have to say everything. You can say 1 or 2 words and say, listen, I need a bit of advice, can you help me? And you keep moving forward. And also in return, you say, oh, you know what? I do wish you the best and what you're doing in your own life. And that's it. Because that's all it is. You praise each other. You don't put each other down, because it's not about that. Because the world that we live in, we all get opportunities for achieving what we want to achieve. But the main thing is you praise each other, you lift each other up. If that other person doesn't, that's fine, it's okay, but you keep going forward. But I will say one thing. When I was training And I kept on going and kept on going. Even to the point when I remember I was doing yoga, someone said to me about yoga. I was a bit nervous, I'm not going to lie, where getting up in the morning, sit with other people, you know, being in positions where I think I'm going to fall over because I'm going to feel embarrassed, and other people, I projected they might think or talk or might laugh at me, but that's because what you've always had in your mind from an early age. So you always think, you micromanage, you see patterns and you think, oh, they're saying this to me, oh, they're saying that to me, what they think of me, and you're trying to impress, but you're not learning. So take a step back, focus on what you are and what you want to do in your own life, and be present, and just focus on the thing what you want to do for yourself, which is very important. Because when you start thinking outside the box, just remember something, you only can control what's in your circle. Anything outside your circle, you can't control. Don't do that. I've tried to do that. What happens when you come out your circle, and you try to control everything else, you forget your prime objective. It's about being yourself, not listening to the noise outside that circle. If it comes that you need help and support, take that on board and keep going forward. Because I feel, like I said before, anything's possible for anyone. From the next 12 months, you can make a beautiful story for yourself. By the end of this year, that story could be massive to whatever you want to write a book, you want to be a personal trainer, anything. But also at the same time, if people are saying things outside your circle, just take on board, don't react, don't get triggered and go, ah, because that doesn't help. And you start to get stressed, then you get put off doing it. If you go, oh, I'm not doing that anymore, I'm not doing that anymore, and then you stop, then it fades away because you carry on listening to other people. You know yourself where the voice you want to reach out to, and you listen to other people. But just remember, when you walk on your path, the goals that you want to achieve, listen to your heart and your voice and your gut instincts. Well, what's it telling you? What does your nervous system telling you? That's very important. Just remember that. And anything's possible. I'm happy with the things I've achieved so far, but there's more to come. I learned a lot over that time. I'd listen to that person, trying to alter change. Listen up there, listen there, take note, learn, improve, growth. There's podcasts, there's books. Like I said before, DM me, Instagram, email, call me. I'm here to help. Look forward to hear from all of you, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.